Hey there, Sarah Hawkins here from True North Business Management, where I help entrepreneurs organize their chaos so they can get more done. I'd like to welcome you to my debut of my Steal This System series, in which I share processes, checklists, worksheets, in other words, systems that I use in my business and that I help my clients integrate into their own businesses so that they can get more done. So what's today's, let's jump right into it. Today's system is a rate calculation sheet. So I feel like we're starting right at the beginning. You have your thing. What are you going to charge for it? I'd like to just say at the outset that I'm not going to enter into the debate about whether or not one should be charging by the hour for their services, or whether or not one should create packages and programs and charge for those accordingly. It depends on your business. It depends on your comfort level. I mean, plumbers charge by the hour, right? Some coaches charge by the hour. Some have only packages. So that's something that we're going to leave aside for the moment, because that's a conversation for another time. But I do want to say that you still need to understand the amount of money that you need to earn and what that translates into by the hour. So what we're going to do with this worksheet is we're going to plug in your annual expenses, and then we'll just scroll through it and you'll see. You'll plug in your annual business expenses here. If you have any employees or subcontractors, you'd enter that information here as well. Here's some calculations that are automatically made for you. These are not editable. I've protected these. I've created formulas that will automatically calculate for you. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how to make changes to that. But I just protected them so that there wouldn't be any accidental changes as you're going through using it yourself. So at the bottom here, here's some how you figure out what your billable hours are. How much time you plan on working, and this is how you can figure out what your time is worth. So let's get started. How much is your time worth? Household expenses, which isn't technically a business expense, but if you're expecting your business to pay your rent, you'll want to figure out how to calculate that. And I should say that you can, if there are categories that don't apply to you, you can delete them. And if there's something that should be in here, put it in. You don't have to follow this my template entirely. One thing that you can do, if you want to be sure that you're accounting for everything sort of like the same way that the IRS does, is you can go into the IRS website and grab yourself a Schedule C. And the Schedule C is something that self-employed people need to use when they're filing their annual taxes. So if you know what those categories are that the IRS is looking for, you can just calculate accordingly, and you'll like have it all ready for the next time. But having said that, let's just jam on through here with what it is that we've got. Excuse me. I've got some numbers already. Some of these things I know, and some I'm not really sure of. Website hosting, marketing, membership. I belong to some clubs. If you business applications, if you pay for document storage, if you've got a Dropbox account, task management, if you're paying for one of the pro services that Asana or Basecamp, for example, if you have email marketing services that you're paying for, if you've got Infusionsoft, that's the example there. I have a very low number for that because I pay for most things. I have the cheap version. I do like office supplies, however, so I probably spend too much in that area. And then we'll plug in a miscellaneous number. So now we'll scroll down here and you'll see that a number has been calculated for us. So all of this All of these expenses have been calculated for us, and you'll see that there's been another calculation, 3520, 10% profit goal added in. So your revenue required that you'll want to make in order to make a 10% profit goal and pay 15% tax. Actually, we haven't got to the tax yet. But in order to make your 10% profit goal, you're going to want to make $38,720 per year. So how many hours do you need to work in order to make that happen? Let's see. Work week. Now this is for billable and non-billable time. So if you're working a straight up work week that doesn't have any vacation or sick time, or when you're doing work, whether it's related to the business of your business or the business of your client's business, put those in here. Like, when do you work? You get up in the morning, you do some stuff, and so is that 9 to 5, 5 days a week? Is that 4 days a week? Come up with a number and plug it in here. And so then multiplying that by 52, it annualizes the number of your work hours that you'll be working over the year. And I'm just going to plug in these default recommendations. 5 sick days per year, 8 national holidays, 10 vacation days. And now time spent on admin and operations. This is another situation where debate rages, is it like an hour? Are you paying an hourly rate, or are you paying a package rate? Are you billing your clients for photocopying their stuff? Are you billing your clients for creating a project management a project management spreadsheet? Listen, lawyers charge when they're on the clock and they're working on a client. Lawyers charge everything, right? Other business models, I know a lot of VA business models don't charge unless they're actively working on a client project. I am of two minds about this, and I actually have a hybrid. Now, time spent on admin, obviously, if it's my business, there's no one I can bill for that. But if I'm doing administrative work related to a client project, I'm going to bill them for that, because that's time spent working for that client that can't be spent on anyone else. So I have a little bit of a hybrid here, and it's probably the stuff that I cannot bill to my clients is probably 2 hours a week. So now in a year, excuse me, actually that is my yes, that is in a year. I need to actually change that number. That is not a yearly number. Excuse me, I have an issue with my calculation. So let's just do a quick one here. If it's 2 hours a week and there are 52 weeks, that number is 104. So there. So that makes that 127 hours that I am not working. So the total number of possible billable hours has been calculated down below here, and so with some very fancy background formulas, you'll see that the amount that you need to earn per hour is $31.07. And this number includes a 15% self-employment tax and a 10% profit goal. So that's what those assumptions are. So go ahead and play with this. Insert some things here. I'm sure you can come up with some business expenses that you have that aren't accounted for here. Do you have to pay for childcare? For example, you might have numbers that look different than mine. If you have employees or subcontractors, you want to account for that there as well, in any of these things. So you get the point. Your spreadsheet is your spreadsheet. It's your rate calculation. As I promised, I want to show you how to tweak If you wanted to make any changes, let's pretend, let's say you want to change your profit goal to 15%. Up at the top here in this menu, you want to click on this review button and just click on unprotect sheet. And that will allow you to access this cell and make that change. And so 15% is 0.015, so I'll make that change, and you'll see here that everything came back together again. Now, I recommend that you just click on Protect Sheet once you make that change and say OK. And what this does is this will just save it'll protect the parts that I talked about. So see what happens if I go to make that change now that I've corrected, now that I've protected the worksheet, it won't allow me to do that. I get this error message. But if you forget how to do this, here it tells you exactly how to go through the steps to unprotect the worksheet. There is no password, so don't worry about it. So there you have it, your rate calculation worksheet. Please steal this system. I hope that you find it beneficial and it helps you to wrap your arms around a little bit better how much it is that you need to be charging on an annual basis in order to, or rather on an hourly basis, so that you can get it, so that you can put some money in the bank and really invest in your business and soar. So thank you for spending this time with me. Once again, this is Sarah Hawkins from True North Business Management. You can find out more about me at www.truenorthbusinessmanagement.com, where you can sign up to get more of these systems that you can use, that you can steal for your business. Talk to you soon.